All right, ladies and gentlemen, here I'm with the beautiful Heidi Burns. Welcome and thanks for joining me.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So I have a few questions for you. You're a mom and you are growing the next generation of champions here. And you have a very, very famous husband in our scene. So I feel probably the expectation is quite high. And I wonder how the training is going. It's like, how do you put this amazing legacy of your family and, how can you present that to your son? Because he's a human being and, I'm sure he has his own opinion. So I just wanted to know, how do you find this balance between having this humongous knowledge and this humongous legacy and a new soul, hopeful soul? How do you communicate that?
Well, the answer is there is no perfect answer. The answer is you never feel like you get the balance right, but you just never give up. And you keep trying, and you keep trying to teach them right. And also, it's more important about, I think, the values that they learn from the competing, from learning how to deal with disappointment, learning how to deal with success. That's the stuff that I really hope he gets from it. All the other stuff will come, but that's the character building stuff that we try to really program into. And of course the technique and the mechanics, we drill and drill and drill. But the other stuff I think is just as important too.
I agree. Yes, I mean, especially in a competitive world, there's so many mental challenges that we all have to go through. How to master them is always challenging for everybody.
Totally.
But
right.
So when did you know that he was wanting to dance?
Well, funnily enough, of course he's around it all the time growing up, and he never, from the ages of 2 to 7, he didn't want anything to do with it. We kept saying, do you want to do it? No. He was happy doing his other things. And then all of a sudden, he was at our camp in Assen, and he was standing there and, no, it wasn't at the camp actually, it was at the competition, and he was seeing the kids do the team match. And he just started to cry, and he's like, I have to do this. We're like, okay. And so then he started, and we've never looked back. It's just been something that he's just been intensely focused on. So,
well, it's lovely to see you both so dedicated. It's really heartwarming. I came to watch him today. I wanted to see that.
So sweet.
Yes.
It was so sweet of you.
But I also have a question, because you have such a vast experience in many other different styles of dancing. And now you are merging this all together with this amazing legacy we have from Donnie. What do you feel that you personally, from your side, brought into this partnership and brought into our Latin dance scene? What is your contribution?
Well, for me, I just think it's important to have an idea of any style that you do to capture the essence and the character of the dance.
Yeah.
And of course, the discipline and all of that you get from other dance styles can be totally, infused with any style that you do, that discipline. But I think I would have to say the characterization, the showmanship, the freedom of movement. I found that first when I started teaching all these professional couples, I found that as great as they were and as disciplined as they were and as fabulous as they were, it was so hard to get the release in the body that you get from other styles of dance. And so that's what, we tried to do. That's what we try to do with all of our couples, no matter what style you are. A great dancer is a great dancer regardless of what style you do. And there's so many principles that are totally parallel through all forms of dance.
Yes, that's true.
It is really true. It's just about finding the body structure for each dance, the character, and the essence of it. That's really it.
Why is it that in our scene we are particularly so, focused, or I don't want to use the word rigid because I don't think we are rigid, but we don't find sometimes this expression and freedom? Is it because when I look at it, every lesson we always work on what doesn't work, because obviously we want to develop it. And then every time we go on a competition, we compare it.
Yeah.
So this what we want to chase is always there, and you can see it in a positive way, but it can be at times, could be also overwhelming.
Yes.
Is that especially in our scene, and is that a little bit different in other scenes? How is that like?
Well, this is a highly competitive scene, and a lot of times, not a lot of times, all the times, your butt is on the line at all these different competitions, and I think there's a huge fear factor involved with that. And I think what I love to see is fresh creativity coming. I like to see people who are not afraid to develop their own style and put their own unique identity on what they do. And that's what I think you maybe in other dance styles you see a little bit more of. But it's so funny because if you take the Latin dancers and they look at the swing dancers, the Latin dancers will say, the swing dancers all look the same. And then if you ask the swing dancers about the Latin dancers, they'll say, the Latin dancers look all the same. So, I mean, of course it's a question of perspective. But I think, honestly, I love to see the own individual creativity. I hate to see everybody trying to dance like everyone else or trying to dance like the champion.
Yeah.
I like to see everybody to find their champion inside themselves because that is what really inspires me and inspires everybody, the audience, the judges, everyone.
I agree with you. You know, for a long time I already eliminated right and wrong out of my vocabulary when I'm teaching. I love, my favorite word is development.
Yes, mine too.
Yes.
Mine too.
Well, it was lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining. I could talk to you for ages. We would have a great time. But we leave that for another day. Thank you so much.